Continuing on with The Mandalorian, we now come to the final episode in Season 2, The Rescue. This episode is really enjoyable and a really good way to end the season, even though it takes a little while to get going. So what happens? After finding Moff Gideon, Mando enlists the help of Bo Katan alongside Cara, Dune and Boba Fett to rescue the child. After fighting Dark Troopers and taking over Gideon's ship, Mando rescues Grogu and defeats Gideon, while Cara and Bo Katan create a distraction. After the crew join up, they get engaged and ganged up on by Dark Troopers. However, they get rescued by a Jedi that turns out to be Luke Skywalker, who takes Grogu away to create his new Jedi Order. This episode I really enjoyed. However, there's a huge chunk in this episode which is just straight action, and while it is really enjoyable to watch, it does get a bit tiring after a while when that's all you get for 10 minutes straight without much story in between, and there isn't really much point of it being that long. However, the other parts are really enjoyable to watch. The battle between Bo Katan and Boba Fett, well, Bo Katan's Death Watch and Boba Fett was really good. However, I do feel that Boba should have completely bossed that fight, considering his biological background, among other things. We also get to see Dark Troopers and more in this episode. However, while I think there was some really good scenes in there with the Dark Troopers between Mando and the Dark Trooper fighting, for example, I would have loved to see more fighting and action scenes between the rescue crew and the Dark Troopers. This episode basically consists of them marching around looking tough and then getting sized down by Luke Skywalker at the end, with a little occasional fight scene in between. On topic of Luke Skywalker, can we just talk about the ending for a moment? When we saw the X-Wing fly into the hangar bay, I thought, oh, please tell me that's Luke. And sure enough, we get to see a green lightsaber, and we then get to see a young-faced Mark Hamill brought back in CGI. Now, while this is really well done, and they still have a long way, however, to go before they're going to use this for something like a Luke Skywalker spin-off movie or something like that, there's still a very weird stiffness in the face, especially around the lips when he's talking, and I can see this not really holding out well in the next 3 years. However, it's still really well done, and I'm very impressed by it. I also love seeing Mando and Gideon fighting. It was really cool as an action scene, and one I've been waiting to see since Mando got the Beskar staff. However, it didn't look like Gideon was fighting that hard, which is something I was surprised by. Now maybe it was because if Mando defeated Gideon, that Bo Katan couldn't take the dark saber because it had to be won in battle according to some ancient Mandalorian code, which is something that I thought was interesting. And right at the end we see a post-credit scene of Boba Fett taking over Jabba's palace. And this is where we see the Book of Boba Fett coming December 2021, which confirms that we are going to get Boba Fett's spin-off. Now, with all the spin-offs being announced just recently, I'm slightly worried that we're going to be given too much all at once. I hope that we're given these series one at a time and not have two releasing at once, as if they did, I feel people might start getting bored. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It's a fitting end to the season and a nice way to end Mando's journey.